States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I would like to advise those present that notice of this regular meeting of the Housing Authority of the City of Hoboken has been provided to the public in accordance with provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act. Notice of this regular meeting of Thursday, August 13, 2026 was given by publication of the annual meeting notice of the authority with amendments as necessary and was sent to the Star Ledger on Tuesday, August 4th, 2026 as notification to the general public of said meeting and sent to the City Clerk of Hoboken on Tuesday, August 4th, 2026 with a copy of the agenda to be posted on the bulletin board in City Hall, Hoboken Library, and Hoboken Police Department and posted on the authority website on Tuesday, August 4th, 2026. I direct the minutes of this meeting to state that I have announced that adequate notice of this meeting has been given as required by the Open Public Meetings Act. Director Eckert,
Sure will. David Edwards, Anthony Forbes. The Reverend, yep, he's there.
Brad, could you hear us? We know he's here.
Yeah. Barbara Reyes,
Present.
Gene Rodriguez,
She's on too.
Jeannie, can you hear us?
and Jeannie's muted.
Yeah, so
It's
it's
like the
her.
rep's muted too.
Can they hear us?
Yeah.
Because neither is answering.
Sí, muy bien.
Reverend and Jeannie, we think you're muted.
I think they're working on it.
I'm coming back on the phone. When coming back, I'm trying to connect her.
I need to open all the things.
We need a rep. Should we text him?
I'm texting. She can't hear us. Rodriguez
She's on
can't
mute.
hear us.
She can hear us?
No, I just asked her, can you hear us? She said no.
Espérate, Carmen, dame un segundo.
Jacqueline Hughes, can you hear us? Or Jackie Medina, can you hear us?
I don't think anybody.
Lourdes? No one can hear us.
So it's not that us.
Oh, yeah.
Can you hear us, guys? Commissioner Forbes, Commissioner Rodriguez, can you hear us?
I can hear you, Gene.
Yes. Now I can hear you. Now I can hear you.
Okay.
All right. Reverend Forbes,
We do roll call.
roll call. Reverend Forbes? Are you present?
Present.
Very good. Gene Rodriguez? And you are muted.
Jeannie.
Jenny?
Yes.
Thank you. Erica Seitzman?
Present.
Matthew Testa?
Present.
Carmen Vega?
Director, you can start with your report.
Did you read the announcement?
Yes.
I missed it. Okay, good.
That was the first thing.
Thank you, sorry.
So,
Okay, thank you so much, Chairperson. Just a review of the Capital Improvement Redevelopment Committee met on July 29th. The maintenance contract bids before you tonight in the resolution form were discussed. In addition, a review of our status on the redevelopment project was provided. The highlights, some of the highlights which will be discussed later in my report. It was Commissioners Jessica's first chairmanship of that committee. Anything you'd like to add to that quick one? We had a good meeting.
Good meeting.
Yeah. The Finance Procurement Committee met on August 4th. A presentation was given regarding health insurance options by our insurance brokers, Brown & Brown. These gentlemen are with us tonight to review our recommendations in the form of a resolution. So they will be presenting to us when we get to the resolution side of this issue. In addition, the committee discussed our TAR balances and progress, as well as the staff's intent to roll out the ability for residents to pay amounts owed via direct bank debit. We hope to be rolling that out by the end of August. So yes, we're going to be pushing that direction. The Resident Services Committee met on August 12th. We did review the public meeting held with Nan McKay in depth, and I will be addressing that in detail below. We talked about approved outreach to residents regarding recertification procedures, our plans to produce video information methods, and future HHA events. We did talk in depth about the planned reassignment of management staff. Resident concerns from last meeting, George Muriel from Fox Hill talked about his water spigots to one of the gardens out there. That has been taken care of. Thank you, Sammy. We did talk to his cleaning crew about his concerns about cleaning and about leaving the chairs on the tables after mopping, so we hope to resolve those. I might add that since that time, I have visited Fox Hill a few times and found it to be clean and orderly, but we'll keep those visits going on. Mr. Muriel also made a reference to a resident at 414 Marshall that had a family member suffering from secondhand smoke from a neighbor. We have met with the resident and we have made a plan with that resident to address this issue, and we've also met with the perpetrator of that hazard. Speaking as a resident, Ms. Reyes noted a number of issues with the current answering service. I agree. They have been unsatisfactory, and we expect to have an alternative in place no later than the end of September. It may be before that, but we're working on something with staff now on changing over to a different method of utilizing our emergency answering protocol. And I'll just repeat, I agree. They haven't been to where they should be. You know, we got rid of the old company. We've been using this one for a few months now, and so we'll move on. Ms. Reyes also brought up issues with the Nan McKay recertification process, which I'll review next. As raised at our last meeting, there have been some administrative issues with the process of bringing the outside organization, Nan McKay, onto the process for the rent calculation required for the annual resident recertification and rent calculations. As suggested by our chairperson, we brought our representatives of Nan McKay to Hoboken for a public meeting with our residents on Monday, August 10th here in this room. Pretty good turnout. We also broadcast that on Facebook Live. We also have a recording of that meeting on our website, along with the presentation slide deck that Nan McKay used at that meeting. So you might want to take a look at that. Overall, I do believe that the meeting with Nan McKay was a success. The message that the information requested by Nan McKay, who is an extension of Housing Authority Management, they work directly for us and are governed by all privacy laws that govern the Housing Authority. That information that they request is required by HUD, as well as the Housing Authority's policy. That was discussed at length. This is not optional. We must collect this information. And I know it's hard sometimes on residents to get all that information together, but we do give you a few chances to do it. I do remind everyone that the reason we brought an outside agency on to assist us was a series of audit findings that we had regarding recertifications that we just could not continue. We had to put an end to it. The rent calculations required by HUD are complex and convoluted, but are required by federal law as a condition of tenancy for each and every family. Many PHAs like us are turning to specialists in the field to assure that accuracy and across-the-board fairness. I also believe, though, that many of the issues brought by the residents as we've gone through this almost a whole year with the NAMA-K group are valuable. They're valuable in making our process better as we've gone through this first year. There are some things we can change and others that are immutable by federal law that we must enforce as the stewards of the federal funds. In that light, based on comments from residents, we have been able to change a number of things going into the coming year. We have modified the letters that will be going out to our residents requesting information to make them kind of less harsh. I did do a review of them, and in review, I think they were. I could see some people saying, oh my gosh, am I going to be kicked out if I don't do this in 7 days or 10 days? And that's just not true. So we've changed some things on that. We are also personalizing them for each site. So when you get a letter now from Monroe, at Monroe Gardens, if you're a resident at Monroe Gardens, it will be coming from the manager of Monroe Gardens. It will have the manager of Monroe Gardens' phone number on it. It will repeat, please go see your manager if you have questions. They will help you fill those out and make that a lot easier for you. But as we make them less harsh, we must remember that the information is a condition of your residence lease. We have gotten slapped on the wrist by HUD when people don't bring in their recertifications. Some folks out there just don't bring them in. This is serious. This is serious business, and we are the stewards of those federal funds. We did find that internal controls are required to better communicate between our managers and NAMA-K. A lag we identified in the process of informing NAMA-K consistently when documentation was submitted to our managers, and at times a warning was sent to some residents requesting documentation that was already given to our managers. That's not right. We apologize if that happened to anybody. We've closed that loophole. So we don't expect that to be happening at any time in the future. And I just want to point out again, we're glad to hear it. If there's an issue, please bring it to us. If we can, we'll change it. We did redo a reduction in the number of bank statements required to be submitted. We did get a lot of complaints that we were requesting 6 months of bank statements. We've reduced that to 3 months of bank statements in the future. I might note that it's always been 6 months. Even before NAMA-K came on, it was always 6 months were requested, but we get it, and I hear you. We have removed the prohibition against any modification of bank statements. Our policy had said that when you give us a bank statement, there can be no modification on that bank statement. Under review, I don't see any reason why we should know or need to know who you paid for what. Right? If you're going to go to Stop and Shop and Pay or those outgoing, you will now be allowed to strike those out. You'll be allowed to permanent marker over them, or however you choose to do it. If it's digital, you can do that blank statement. But we're not concerned with how you spend money. We are concerned, and we must know, regarding income. And so I said from now on, NAMA-K, our staff, is not going to be worried about modifying those bank statements as long as the essential information is there. You know, you still need your name on it, you still need your bank account information, you still need your income, but you don't need your outgo.
Yes, yeah.
We also,
Jeannie, we can hear you.
and lastly, there were questions on why at times we're requesting documentation on student grants. And that was thoroughly explained at the meeting. There are portions of student grants by federal law that must be counted as income. I don't love it, but it's true. federal law. And essentially, quickly, if it's a federal grant, then we don't have to look at it. If it's a state grant, any portion of that income that covers tuition or books, we don't have to look at. But anything for food, lodging, etc., under a student grant has to be counted as income. That's the federal law. And until that's changed by Congress, we have to ask for that documentation when somebody comes in and says, well, why are you asking for my kid's student loan information? Well, it's because we must document that. So we remain committed to continuing that improvement. I mean, if you've got issues with it, bring it to your manager, bring it to us. We will always do what we can. We have had some stormy and hot weather. It has continued to cause problems across Hoboken, including here. Our worst area of backup has been the large parking lot at Harrison Gardens, kind of the, you know, the Hoboken sewer system, right? Is rainwater and sewage. So when those things back up from the city, it covers our parking lot, and then when it goes back down, it doesn't leave nice things there, right? So we're working out a better system of cleaning up those parking lots directly after. We have had our guys out with pressure washers. It takes forever to do it with a pressure washer. We're trying to work something out with the fire department to use possibly some fire hoses to clean out those. But we are striving that between 24 and 36 hours after a storm that we have those cleaned. So we're working that out, but we hear you. As the temperatures reached dangerous levels the last month, we did provide cooling stations around, and some of you took advantage of that. The 321 elevator was down, and we hope over the next day, we hope, wherever Sammy's hiding.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm still waiting for the update on...
Okay, still waiting for the final update?
Yes, sir.
We may have it working tonight. We hope to have it working tonight. And that was a water damage issue. I did have my quarterly executive meet and greets since our last meeting. I think I had good feedback from residents. We talked about issues that affected each individual development, and thank you all for coming to those, and we'll continue those on a regular basis. I should add here that our managers have also started monthly meetings at each site. So I will be with you officially, with you whenever you see me, but officially every 3 months to have a resident meeting with you. But every month I'm expecting each manager to have interim meetings with you, to hear you and to see if there's any specific problems you have. Our CDBG application, it was in the paper that we received this money for Fox Hill, security cameras on each floor, and funds for a roof replacement. For Monroe Gardens, the installation of fence and gates along the back parking lot here. We have issues with people parking here that shouldn't, outsiders parking, etc. We did have a posting on our social media that said we were glad to receive $600 million in CDBG. We didn't get $600 million. That's hopefully will be gone by tonight. It was a mistake by our staff. We got nearly 600,000. Thank you, City. Most of that is going toward security cameras on every floor over at Fox Hill. Also, it's going toward the installation of the fencing project here at Monroe Gardens. So a mistake was made, and we'll be correcting that shortly. Sorry about that. We do have some tax credit training coming up for the board and the staff, for the both for the boards, for the Housing Authority Board and the Housing for Hoboken Board, as well as staff, to give an introduction to the low-income housing tax credit program, which we'll be using during the renovation, during our redevelopment. It's a strong financial tool. In light of one of our managers resigning fairly recently, I, in tandem with Yesenia, Director of Management, are putting a reorganization of our management staff in place. It will be officially starting this Monday, August 17th. The management staff is having meetings at each site tomorrow to introduce the management teams, if you have the new one. So the following manager assignments are taking place starting Monday officially. Miss Yolanda is going over to Fox Hill. Lydia Rodriguez is coming to Andrew Jackson North, and Patricia staying at Andrew Jackson South, Patricia Colon. Jasmine Santos is going to Monroe Gardens, and Deborah Booty will be at Adams. For Jasmine and Deborah, they have got their public housing manager certifications, and in their respect, it means a promotion for them from an assistant manager to a manager position. So welcome and congratulations, ladies. Glad to have you aboard. Personnel policy, we're still continuing to negotiate with Local 97 on a small issue, and we should have that solved soon. We've set up another meeting with them, hopefully to knock that one out. And Hoboken Housing Forward update with HFORA, which is HFOURA, all capitals, for our transcriber for next time. HFORA, you'll hear that. Mr. Merchant, you want to bring us up to date? Sure.
Thank you, everybody. I want to start by saying we had our first capital improvements committee with the redevelopment, and we have talked about setting some meetings up with RPM. I have some dates for you that we need to go just get some dates together, but we're able to now restructure our HHA redevelopment committee with our H4 committee, and we're working through some of the. So what we have here for the board is a highlight, which is a board-facing one, but our internal document will come at the meeting. We're having it soon. So during the month So during the month of July, we continued pushing with the city and sitting down. We've been working on the details of the MDA, and that's the Master Development Agreement. As such, we continue to meet with the city. Bi-weekly meetings to finalize the steps. This was a significant month. We submitted some exhibits to the city. The city has given us their comments back. That's also something that we'll be able to now share with both H4H and the committee, the development committee. So things to keep on doing. So during the design and development, we're getting ready for the planning board submission. So most of our paperwork is starting to get defined. We now have an actual count. All along the way, we've been talking about approximate numbers. We are ready to go with 164 units. So that is what we have. We are now at the point where we're starting to look at some of the exterior choices that have to happen, particularly in between the buildings outside, talking about where bikes go and bike racks, and thinking about parking and where the storm water goes, where it's sitting. So as we're going through all those choices, decisions are being made that are going to inform the final product. So we should be having something to show you in the fall. We're hoping to come to you sometime, maybe the end of September, beginning of October, to have another meeting. The first meeting that we had with the general public was basically to show you the concept, the very high level outside of the building. But we're moving past that now, and we want to start talking about what the next choices would be in the project. So as far as the redevelopment agreement, we're still hoping to be completing that in the fall here. And for the planning for the board submission, we're also shooting for the fall, somewhere in October, hopefully. Financing should start at the end of 26, going into 27, and then pre-development and start, hopefully cutting a ribbon somewhere in the summer. We've been traveling, the director and I, looking at other developments that have already been successful. And the truth of the matter is that We can make buildings that are going to be beautiful, and we can complete them on time and in budget. But if we don't develop the community side of it, we're leaving a big piece on the table. So what I think is equally important, and what I'm asking of the board, is that we put all our attention now towards how are we going to get these partners, outside partnerships, because there's a lot of people that so let me give you examples in other cities. Obviously, the money that comes directly from the deal is going to take care of the building, but that never includes the things that we need for the community side. We need to make sure that our seniors are, as we're getting into it, have things that enrich their lives every day, whether it's the programs through art. And we are doing so much more than we ever have. So that's not the point. This is about how do we bring more. Our budget is not one, we have a budget to house folks. We don't have a budget for community. And that's where I really think that our focus and our talents together, and I'm going to be reaching out my hand, and I think that there's going to be a lot of people out there, and what I'd like to work on is a way to create buckets where people can have different levels of funding and avenues for them to invest in. It's kind of like what you were just talking about. And bringing in these partners and having partners that may be partners for a one-time event, partners that may be partners for monthly support, partners that may be transformational partners. Maybe someone that might even contribute to a whole building. You never know. But as we went from city to city, there was never a project that just did it just by making housing. They did it by collaborating with the city, collaborating with all the partners in the county and the state, and then really making transformative change and setting up the seeds for future, so that our teenagers now have the road to maybe do internships that might lead to job placement, so that maybe some of our families that are currently working maybe have education on how to save and how to invest their money and how to protect what they have. So at every stage, our residents fall under different categories of that. Our children need to be inspired. We need to continue to keep our green spaces for them and activities. And everything that I'm talking about comes down to one thing, dollars and cents. So I think that we'll be able to present something to you in the near future that will be something that is appropriate and that is going to make people inspired to invest in Hoboken in partnership and with us, as opposed to just an ask. So the goal here is we'll build a building, but let's build a community that goes with it. So that's really the focus that I would look to.
Thank you, Frank. And I'd just like to add that the work that Frank and staff are doing to finalize the development agreement with the city is outstanding. We are really close. There's just a couple little issues that we're working out with the city, and the city's been great. Thank you, city, if you're listening. They've been great working with us, and we've really made a lot of progress over the last 60 days. So we'll be coming to you very soon to get everyone on this board and the community educated on where we are and how fast we're going. So I'm excited about our prospect.
My final note to the board is I do have now exhibits in the final red line that I'll provide by tomorrow when you guys will have. So just wanted everybody to know.
On our housing choice voucher projects, no significant changes on our project-based voucher projects, but we stay where we are on our housing choice vouchers, which folks often call certificates or vouchers. We can't issue any new ones according to HUD, so we're kind of treading water on that at the moment. I know folks come in and say, why can't we get a voucher like we did? We're just prohibited right now from issuing any. So that's where we are for now, until we hear more from Washington, D.C. I do continue to meet with residents. I put this in every month. If you want to see me, come and ask for an intake. I think we met with 12 families this past month, and we'll continue to do that to work out any problems you might have. At Fox Hill, the trustees did not meet this month, the Housing for Hoboken trustees. We are developing that plan for the next phase of capital improvements. And speaking of capital improvements, our pest control project needs to be rebid with revised scope of work, so you don't see that front of you tonight for an approval of a new company. Our dumpster containerization project should be completed the first week of September. I'm a little bit frustrated at them. They put the bins out and then went away. And so we want that complete. That's a joint venture with the city. Our bathtub replacement project continues. If you need a new bathtub, please talk to your manager, call maintenance on that, because we're able to do 10 more that we had already laid out. Fox Hill door replacement, it'll probably be the last time this is on here because we're 100% complete with that. Our boiler replacements are in process and almost complete. 7 new boilers to hit before the winter. Our Adams Gardens patio improvements is under legal review currently. Our roof replacement at 655, we did have a pre-construction meeting this past week, and the project start date will be soon. They're putting in their final submittals to the architectural, our architects. Our Andrew Jackson column repairs, very similar. They're putting in their submittals for that, so they should start soon. I have been promising for a while, and we will make progress, believe me, on the ADA roll-in shower installation. For those of you that have contacted your managers to have your bathroom modified to have a roll-in shower, we expect that to be advertised by the end of August. So we then get bids back and evaluate those bids. So it'll probably be the end of September by the time, maybe the October board, by the time we come with a contract for those roll-in ADA showers. But they are moving. They're kind of complicated. It sounds easy, but to get into our bathrooms and really figure out what it's going to take to rip out that bathtub and fit in a roll-in shower for y'all. So we're going to make sure it happens and it happens right, but it's happening. We have on our plate the Harrison Gardens parking lot relocation. Again, with the thought that when we build our new building on the Harrison Gardens parking lot, we're going to have to relocate parking from the Harrison Garden large parking lot to other places on our property. So we're working out that plan, and we'll have that to you as soon as it's done. Our call box system repair is in process, as well as our, and I didn't list this one down, we are going to be replacing the awnings at all of our elderly and disabled developments. The front awning here, the front awning at Adams, and the front awnings at Fox Hill, as well as CCG, which is a real problem over at the CCG awnings. So that's the special projects we've got coming up. On maintenance, okay, on management, they've been consumed with evictions, etc. The snapshot report is attached to your report is attachment 3, and a report regarding our TAR status is attachment 4 for you. We reviewed those in depth at our finance committee, so we know where we're going with those. On our maintenance report, I should note that yesterday our water went out at 320 Marshall at around 4:30, of course. Right? We had a major line break in the basement at 320 Marshall. I have it on good source that Sammy was out to dinner with his daughter, and he got up and came right down. We got a bunch of guys over there and repaired that within a few hours. They had water again. And this was a major line break. And they got in there and made it happen, shut down the water, got the line back up and operating, so our residents by about 7, 8 o'clock had water again. And I just want to commend Sammy as he left the room. It's the best way. We do have a plumbing report there. We continue our tree trimming throughout our sites. Painting at 560 Marshall has been complete. While it's hot outside, our boiler crew stays very busy getting for next winter. I did attach our consolidated operating budget that was reviewed at the Finance Committee. In addition, Emil and his crew have been busy working on housing choice voucher budgets, which are very, very tight these days, as I mentioned earlier. Assignments as requested by the Finance Committee and Housing for Hoboken trustees, working on that CDBG funding that's coming in, and the finalization of the 2025 budget. I would like to extend my appreciation to the efforts of the city for sponsoring their one-day Hoboken event. Their crews of volunteers are sent out to help beautify the grounds at HHA. It was held on July 18th with much success. We do rakes, grabbers, trash bags, refreshments, and kind of support through our maintenance crews, but we really appreciate them coming. What has become our annual Hoopin' for New basketball tournament was held on July 25th. It was a two-day tournament this year, very successful on our basketball court. It was a fine and peaceful event. Young folks, from all over the county competing. It was really great to see peaceful, friendly competition between folks from all over the county. You know, that doesn't always happen in our county. Between Jersey City and Hoboken and Bayonne, and sometimes those guys are competing in a negative way. This time they were competing in a very positive way. I ran into at least one other executive director that was there with his son that just came up to me and said, Mark, because I know him, Rudy from Gutenberg, this is the best, I can't believe what you guys do here. He said, first of all, I can't believe how great your grounds look and your buildings look, but also to put this on and sponsor it is something we just wouldn't have thought of. And so I was very proud, very proud. And a special thanks should go out to Mr. Tyshawn Hanberry. Tyshawn organizes this. He leads it. He makes sure he co-hosts with us, and he's receptive. We work hard on it for months before the event, and he's just very professional, and we can't thank him enough, Tyshawn, for what Tyshawn does. The Hopes Program sponsored a very successful back-to-school book bag giveaway yesterday on the Mama Johnson Field, and thank you to Hopes for doing what they do. And I do understand, even though Ms. Becky isn't with us tonight, that we may have a pre-recorded report from her. Is that right, Mr. Angel? Do you have Becky's report?
Yes.
Could you play that now?
Elderly disabled housing units, activities and events for Monroe Gardens, Adams Gardens, and Fox Hill Gardens. In Monroe Gardens, we have bingo on Tuesdays at 6 p.m., food pantry every other Friday at 8 a.m., Dr. Buddhisima, podiatrist once a month, St. Peter Christian Church, Sundays at 9 a.m., exercise classes on Wednesdays at 10 a.m., and gentlemen's social on Saturdays at 10 a.m. In Adams Gardens, we have bingo on Mondays and Thursdays at 7 p.m. and a special bingo on Saturday, July 18th at 5 p.m. Dr. Buddhisima, podiatrist, every month. Tune in together every other Friday at 2 p.m. Sip and Paint on Wednesday, July 29th at 1 p.m. Movie matinee, Friday, July 17th at 1 p.m. and Adams Gardens Picnic on Friday the 10th at 1 p.m. In Fox Hill Gardens, we have bingo on Wednesdays at 7 p.m., pastoral care on Saturdays at 6:30 p.m., Dr. Purisima, podiatrist, every other month, movie night Fridays at 7 p.m., band-resistant exercise classes Wednesdays and Fridays at 10 a.m., and Hoboken United Tenants Garden every other Saturday at 10 a.m. Family housing units, activities and events for Andrew Jackson Gardens, Harrison Garden, and Christopher Columbus Garden. For adults, we have bingo at the Annie Forbes Community Room on Fridays at 6 p.m. and in Christopher Columbus Gardens Community Room on Fridays at 7 p.m. Pastoral care in the Harrison Gardens Community Room on Fridays at 7 p.m. Trending into a New Life in the Harrison Gardens Community Room every other Thursday at 6:30 p.m. and Different Minds, One Community at the Harrison Gardens Community Room monthly. For kids, we have Street Life Ministries breakfast program at the Monroe Gardens Community Room on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays at 6:30 a.m. 10 Reasons at the Harrison Gardens Community Room on Mondays and Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Amazing Truth Society Homework Help at the Annie Forbes Community Room on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays at 3:30 p.m. and Amazing Truth Society Karate Program at the Annie Forbes Community Room on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 4 p.m. We also have Amazing Truth Society Drum Circle at the Annie Forbes Community Room on Mondays at 3 p.m. and Amazing Truth Society Guitar Lessons at the Annie Forbes Community Room on Wednesdays at 4 p.m. Resources. Subscribe to Nixle and stay ahead. Register today by scanning the QR code with your phone. You can stay up to date with maintenance issues, event announcements, updates, and important advisories.
We lost our audio. It's here. There's some hooping pictures. One of our employees is Mr. Braxton. Jimmy Velez retired.
No way.
He's living the good life. You can tell he's happy.
Yes, it is.
We got him some goodies. A great trip to Camel Beach. Thank you all for everything you've done on that. For those happy people.
I got the worst burn of my life.
And the rain held off. So thank you, Becky, wherever you may be. And that is the end of my report.
Director, so we don't have anyone signed up to speak today, but I did send everyone an email earlier today that I'd like to present a thank you to, on behalf of the 10 Reasons Youth Center, the two entities that have been working with us closely for over 2 years now, because I think it's been 2.5 years now that we're open. So I just, before I start and ask a few of the girls that are present to come up to present I just want to read about the center and the story behind it for those that are not aware. So the 10 Reasons Youth Center came about approximately 2.5 years ago following the tragic death of Damon Nunu Murray. In the aftermath of the heartbreaking loss, Director Recco and I attended numerous community meetings and city council meetings listening to our residents. We kept hearing one common concern over and over again. Our children have no safe place to go. Director Recco and I asked ourselves, what could we do to address that need? Together we came up with the idea of transforming the Harrison Gardens Community Room into a youth center, a place where children and young adults could come for a few hours in the evening and have a safe place to go, participate in positive activities, build relationships, and simply be themselves. Once we had this space, the next question was, who would run it? In the beginning, several of Damon's friends stepped up, volunteered their time each week. They wanted to honor his memory and give back to the community. As their careers and personal responsibilities grew, however, the amount of time they could dedicate became more limited. I'm very proud to say that we have one that's a fireman today, a Hoboken fireman. We have one in the process of being a Port Authority police officer. So I'm very proud of those young men who dedicated and volunteered for us. Actually, we have two that are firemen. I'm sorry, I forgot one of them. Today, the center continues because of the commitment of the resident volunteers and mentors, some who are here today joining us, who dedicate their Mondays and Wednesday evenings from 6 to 9 p.m. to our children and youth. But running a youth center requires more than a room and volunteers. Our children need activities, supplies, and of course, something as basic as and important as a meal. That is where our community has truly stepped up. The 10 Reasons Youth Center has operated for more than 2 years, primarily through the generosity of community members and local organizations that have donated their time, resources, food, and other necessities. A community member donated 2 televisions. The HHA donated another TV for us to make it a welcoming space for our young people. And tonight, I want to take a special moment to publicly recognize 2 entities that have made a meaningful difference in the lives of the children participating in our program: 10th and Willow Bar and Grill and the Hoboken PBA. For the past 2 years, 10th and Willow Bar and Grill has generously donated food to our program every Wednesday. They have consistently supported our children without ever asking for any recognition. They simply saw a need and chose to help. I believe it is important that we publicly acknowledge the generosity tonight, because sometimes the people and entities who give the most are the ones who ask for the least recognition. I would also like to recognize the Hoboken PBA for their continued generosity and support. They have not only donated food to our program, but they have also made an effort with the support of the amazing leadership of Chief Aguiar and Sergeant Collins to come into the center, interact with our children, speak with them, and even sit down and share a meal with them. That type of support means more than they may realize. What they are doing goes beyond providing a meal. They are helping us build community policing and, more importantly, relationships based on trust. Many young people may grow up with the perception that police officers are their enemies. By coming into our center, talking with our children, listening to them, laughing with them, and sharing a meal with them, our officers are helping break down those barriers and change that perception. They are showing our children that police officers are members of their community who care about them and who know them and want to see them succeed. Those relationships matter. As someone who is not only involved with this program, but who is also a resident and parent raising children in this community, I personally understand how important it is to know that our children have people and organizations looking out for them. These donations are about so much more than a meal. They help ensure that our children have a safe place to come, a place where they feel welcomed, where they can build relationships, participate in positive activities, and simply be children and youth. Currently, our youngest participant is 4 years old, and she's here today, and our oldest is 21. Everyone is welcome and no one is turned away. What makes me especially proud is that more than 2 years later, the 10 Reasons Youth Center is still here and still operating because of the dedication of volunteers and generosity of our community. We may not have everything. We operate, I'm sorry, I'm getting emotional. We may not have everything. We operate largely through donations. But what we do have is something incredibly important. People who believe in our children. Today, I am extremely proud to say that we're still here doing our best to help stop violence, providing positive alternatives, and creating a safe place for our children and youth. This center is more than a physical space. It's about what can happen when a community experiences tragedy and chooses to respond by creating something positive. It is about turning pain into purpose. It is about giving our children a place where they know they are safe, valued, supported, and welcome. I am incredibly proud to work of the work we have accomplished alongside the director, this board who allowed us to turn the community room into a youth center, our local elected officials, and our dedicated volunteers, mentors, residents, and every community member and organization that has contributed to this effort. So tonight I want to publicly say thank you to you all. Your generosity has not gone unnoticed. We see it, we appreciate it, and most importantly, our children benefit from it. Thank you for believing in our youth, supporting our program, and standing alongside us. So I'm gonna ask the Hoboken PBA to come up so the girls can give them their certificate, and they created a card from them that came from all the kids with pictures of their visit to the center and the day that they donated the food to them. Go up there, guys. Go up there. You gotta give it to Officer Barrow.
Come on, don't act scared now. Come on. Come on.
I also want to commend the mentors who are here. Ms. Rose, who has been with us since the beginning.
Turn over to it, girl.
Ms. Monique, who is the mother of these 4 beautiful children. Mr. Eddie and Mr. Stevens, who dedicate every Monday and Wednesday to the program. Guys, I just want to say thank you.
Fantastic.
I did this.
So you have some future artists here.
Look, I'm red. That was me, I'm red.
Yeah.
Make sure you show everybody.
Can we show everybody?
Show everybody.
Can we show?
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
Hey, guys. Go ahead, Barbara.
I just want to say thank you. This is about them, not me.
Okay, guys.
Huh? No, the mentors can get up and do it. Come on, guys. If you guys can take a picture with them.
Closer, guys. Thank you.
Let me get on that side over there. There's no tall people over here.
I'll make you even taller.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Our chairperson, Commissioner, if I may, you've left one person out of all those thank yous, and that's you. I know, you're very humble, but I know what many people don't hear, that you have dedicated so much, so many of your evenings, so much food when there wasn't food that she cooked personally, right? Gentlemen, brother over there, and shows up and makes it happen. This great 10 Reasons would not be here without Barbara Graves. Thank you, Barbara. From there. I guess we move on to resolutions just to ground ourselves.
Yes, resolution number 2026-801, resolution of the Housing Authority of the City of Hoboken to approve meeting minutes for June 18th, 2026 regular board meeting.
Motion.
Second.
I'd like to make just a quick comment, is that we're approving the June end next to July minutes.
Yes, so there's one resolution for June, one resolution for July, because I believe June we tabled.
We did table in June because Commissioner...
There was a discrepancy.
Yeah, he made an amendment to the resolution that we did verbally, and we changed that in the minutes, and we wrote Commissioner Edwards, and that's under 2026-06.04. that he wanted to include language saying the receipt of the debt service coverage for Fox Hill Provident loan could be included in the audit report, and that the blended component units in the paragraph be removed, and that the description of housing for Hoboken be inserted. So we worked on that language with him. We're good. We're solid. So he's happy with this as well as I am. So those are the changes.
Are there any questions, concerns? Can you call the vote?
David Edwards, Anthony Forbes.
I think you got all.
Yeah, I don't see it. Barbara Reyes?
Yes.
Jean Rodriguez?
Jeannie, you're muted.
Yes.
Erica Seitzman?
Yes.
Matthew Testa?
Yes.
And Carmen Vega.
Resolution number 2026-0802, resolution of the Housing Authority of the City of Hoboken to approve the meeting minutes for July 9th, 2026 regular board meeting.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Questions, concerns? Director, call the vote.
David Edwards, Anthony Forbes? Oh, it's gone. Barbara Reyes?
Yes.
Jean Rodriguez?
Yes.
Erica Seitzman?
Yes.
Matthew Testa?
Yes.
Carmen Vega.
Resolution number 2026-0803, resolution authorizing the payment of the monthly list of bills for the Hoboken Housing Authority.
Motion. Second.
Mark, I just had two questions about it. There was two checks, two bills, money penny. Is that for what is it?
Yeah, that's the answering service.
Yes, it's for off hours answering service.
Okay.
Cute name, right? Yeah.
Okay, that was it.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Director, call the vote.
Dave Edwards, Anthony Forbes, Barbara Reyes?
Yes.
Jean Rodriguez?
Yes.
Erica Seitzman?
Yes.
Matthew Testa?
Yes.
Carmen Vega.
Resolution number 2026-0804, resolution of the Housing Authority of the City of Hoboken to terminate participation in the SHBP/SEHBP. Questions, concerns?
Motion.
I'm sorry, motion?
Second.
Discussion?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is where we do have our friendly brokers with us tonight. As I introduce them, I'll give an introduction. As you know, we bring Brown & Brown on to work as our insurance brokers. And we've got Mr. Dominic and Mr. Jacob here tonight with us to make a presentation to the board as well. We have, these two fine gentlemen did attend our Finance Committee meeting this past month and did this presentation, and kind of we turned it inside out. And I think it's clear that it was clear to the Finance Committee, as well as certainly clear to the staff, that it's the direction we need to go. We also, these five guys also came to our staff meeting this week. We had a general staff meeting with all of our employees and presented what you're going to hear tonight to them, to talk to them about how their health insurance coverage will change with this. And you'll see, just as an introductory note, that first, if this works for the board, that we get out of our current health insurance program, and then the next resolution will be to enter another health insurance program, right? So we all know the issues that have been surrounding health insurance in the country, across the country. We saw very, very high increases last year for staff. Matter of fact, we had some increases that kind of took people's breath away last year. And a lot of the projection,
Danny, excuse me,
Dan?
guys?
Yeah, thank you. And the projection was that these increases would continue. And it's not surprising, it's happened across the country. So we were charged with the task of what do we do now? Where do we go? So we partnered up with Brown & Brown, started looking at alternatives. They've done their due diligence and they came back with some options for us. And we've, I think, settled into where we are today. So having said that, I will hand it over to Dominic and Jacob. Thank you for coming, John.
Thank you, Director. Thank you, Director. Thank you, Commissioners, for having us.
Can I have your full name?
Dominic, D-O-M-I-N-I-C-K, Cinelli, C-I-N-E-L-L-I, Brown & Brown Insurance. As the Director said, the authority is enrolled in the State Health Benefit Plan. That's where the benefits are provided to your employees. This past year, the authority got hit with a 36% increase, and for 27, it's going to be about a 22% increase. So under the direction of the authority, we requested the loss data from the State Health Benefit Plan, received that loss data, and you'll see in this brief proposal here that we went out to 7 different companies, and we got it quoted through 2 companies, 2 being health insurance funds, which is a shared service amongst other entities like your size. And the best quote we received was from New Jersey Solutions JHIF, okay? Their quote is with Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield, the same company that the State Health Benefit Plan is with. So no change in benefits to anyone. Same network, same hospitals. The only difference is on the prescription, instead of Optimum, it'll be Prime Therapeutics. So same type of thing. There'll be different formularies and so forth. There might be a drug here or there, but we'll be available to work with the employees. We met with them yesterday. There will be maybe just a handful of questions that we spoke to the employees about. But the key to it is that the employees' contributions will probably be stable. There'll be no increase by going to the State Health Benefit Plan. So if this is approved tonight, during open enrollment, we'll sit down with the employees, we'll go through all their benefits, and we'll show them on the calculator what their costs would be now, if they went to the state, what it would be, and where it's going to be. So we're going to be able to do that. For the authority, by going November 1 for 14 months, the authority is going to save about $444,000 by making this change. So we're going to lock in for a 14-month period. So any co-pays or deductibles that any of the employees incurred for the last 10 months will be carried over. So there'll be no disruption with them. So Jacob Krakauer, who's my associate with Brown & Brown, will give you a little bit more details of how the plan works.
Spell your name.
JACOB-KRAKOWER. Thank you, Dominic. Thank you, Executive Director and Commissioners. Appreciate your time. So to Dominic's point, when we go out to the marketplace to secure insurance quotes, the one thing we do get in the public sector industry is what we call an equal to or better than letter. All right. So if any of the carriers can't provide the same benefits that your current employees have, we automatically remove them from the equation, because the one thing we want to make sure is we're not taking anything away from your staff regarding the benefit and the levels of coverage. To Dominic's point, we're going from horizon to horizon, so the network's remaining the same. No difference in terms of doctors. If they're in network with the state today, they'll be in network with the JHIF come November 1st. We secured a 14-month proposal. Keep in mind your employees contribute anywhere from, let's say, 5% to 35% towards the insurance. So not only is the authority going to save, but your members will save as well. Okay, and the key point is we're getting you out of the state health benefit program. Over the last 4 years, your members and the authority has faced an 80% increase to the rates. Okay, by getting you out of the state, we're now putting you in a pool with healthier, like-minded authorities, local municipalities. Right now, what's left in that state health benefit program is a bunch of unhealthy risk. To Dominic's point, when we pulled the claims and we saw the reporting, it showed that the Hoboken Housing Authority and their staff are healthy, and we need to get them out of the state to get them away from the rest of that unhealthy risk that's left in that state pool. Right, so our recommendation is to move into that JHIF, save $440,000 to the authority and your staff, because remember, your staff is paying a percentage of those premiums. And to that point also, it builds stability for the future, so your members and the authority aren't facing these extreme increases that you've faced over the last 4 or 5 years being under the state health benefit program. Now, you'll see this presentation on page 3. It gives you a summary. All right, I'm not going to go into grave detail. The summary is going to show you that we received 2 quotes. You have one from the NJ Solutions JHIF, and then you have one from the Metro HIF. Okay, the Metro HIF, it's a health insurance fund similar to the JHIF. They're both insurance funds. The Metro HIF uses Aetna as their TPA. So what happens is that could cause a little bit of a disruption to your staff because they do have to use the Aetna network as opposed to using the Horizon doctors, okay? Not only that, you'll see that the JHIF is saving you and the members about $100,000 more than the Metro HIF. So that's why we're recommending the JHIF, and as we stated, you know, the purpose of this is to get you out of this state vehicle where there's a lot of bad risk left, meaning unhealthy people using the plan a lot. Okay. The pages behind the summary, I'm not going to go into grave detail. I just want to explain to you kind of how we came up with the numbers. So if you turn to page 4, all right, you're just going to see that top chart. That's going to show you the New Jersey Direct 10. Okay, a lot of your members, they take a Direct 10 program where they pay a $10 copay when they go to the primary or the specialist. Okay. What you'll see is to the right of that, you're going to see you have 13 single employees. 4 parent-child contracts, right? So it's 1 parent, child, or children, and then you have employee, spouse, and family. Okay. Then to the right, you're going to see the 2026 SHBP rates. Then you'll see the 2027 SHBP rates. Granted, it says, keep in mind, it says projected. That's because the state released the rates. We're just waiting for them to approve. All right. They typically never change the recommended rates that they put out there. So we would expect those to stay the same. Then to the right, you have the JHIF, and then to the right of that, you have the Metro HIF, okay? And it's just to show you the pricing that we secured, and this is what the authority would pay per month. As you scroll down this page, you're gonna see it's all the other plans that are being offered to your members. So the Direct 15 is right below that. Same design, same layout. The Direct 15, the way that works is they pay a $15 copay when they go to the primary or the specialist, all right? And as you go through the page, it's gonna be the same thing with all the plans the members have. Then you refer to page 6, all right? Page 6 is going to highlight your prescription plan. That's for your active membership. And at the bottom, you'll see a summary of the savings to your active members, okay? Then we have page 7, which is your retirees, all right? The authority primarily covers actives. I want to say about $2.5 million of your premium go towards actives, and about $250,000 go towards retirees, okay? So you'll just see on the back page, this is how your retirees fall into play, all right? And long story short, the JHIF is going to save the authority, the members, and what the authority pays for the retirees, $440,000.
Just one thing to note, during open enrollment, we're going to have an education with the employees to explain to them about the different plan designs. So someone might be enrolled in the Direct 10, and they might be better off going to Direct 15 or the Omni plan. That was never done before with the state because they had no representatives here. So if that's the case, the employee still gets their coverage, but the authority will even save more money by doing that. So we're going to have that education, and we'll do that on an annual basis during open enrollment with the help of the administration.
Does anyone have any questions? Keep in mind, too, to Dominic's point, when we're educating your staff, we're going to have materials both in English and Spanish. We're also going to be available, our team, for the staff, if they have any concerns with the coverage, questions, if they have any claim issues, enrollment issues. Under the state plan, they don't have that support. The members are kind of on their own, right? In other words, if, let's say Horizon and the state deny a claim, the member has to go to Horizon and fight it themselves, right? Now you're going to have a team at Brown & Brown that's going to act as a resource for your members as well to make sure we keep those insurance companies honest and they're doing what's right to your membership based off the benefits that you offer.
I believe there's 3 things that really strike me on this. One is that we're staying with Blue Cross Blue Shield. So we're not jumping to another provider. All of our records of all of our employees will automatically come over. We're staying with Blue Cross Blue Shield. It's not a matter of going to a different company and trying to get records over and do all that. So that's significant. We're all used to that. We're able to get on the same password to get on our computers and see where our policies are. Excellent. So that's a biggie. I think that Brown & Brown as a backup. They've made this point a couple times. The state plan gives you no backup. They did not come out and educate our employees or me on what plan exactly would be best for me, right? To sit down. And they gave me one of these sheets and they said, pick one, and walked away.
So the state offers 11 plans, and let's be honest, if you're not a health insurance expert, you don't do this every day, it's hard for your members to understand what's the best plan for them. And to Mark's point, they can get a plan that might save them 20% in contributions, and it gives them the rich benefits that they are entitled to. So to Mark's point, we're going to help educate them to make sure they know what's best for them from a cost-benefit analysis.
That's exactly my point, and I agree with you. I would like to make the point, just to be clear, that the $440,000 that we've been bantering around is really what we would save over staying with our current plan. So we would be paying that $440,000, us and our employees would be paying an extra $440,000 if we stay with our current plan.
Yes, that's correct. If you stay with the state, you're going to be paying an extra $440,000.
And the other comment I have is this is happening with housing authorities across the state. We're not alone here. And going to that, particularly with housing authorities that have a decent performance record. So we're pleased.
And just so everyone knows too, the reason why we're saying there's bad risk left in the state plan is because all of the healthy groups that have the opportunity to leave, they're doing so. So I want to say more than 25% of the groups that have been in the state over the last 2 years have left. So everyone that's having the opportunity to leave, they're jumping on that because, like we said, that state plan is not running very well, and as the healthier groups leave, that just means the unhealthier members are left in that plan.
And that means their rates are going to continue
Exactly.
over the next years. So it's time.
Mark, what was the feedback you guys got from the employees?
Very good. Very good. They're very comfortable. Of course, anytime change comes, but I think with this presentation, as a matter of fact, even a little bit longer, we really stayed quite a bit. They were very comfortable with the idea that we're staying with Blue Cross Blue Shield. There'd be somebody to help them with everything, and that all of their information will stay the same, and that we can expect that their insurance costs will be essentially level over the next 14 months.
And keep in mind too, when we meet with the staff, right, these are the financials that you're looking at. The actual presentations we give to your staff is more of a transition deck, so they know what to look for, how to make sure they take advantage of the whole program, and to also make sure they know what's offered. I mean, when we met with the staff, one of the employees mentioned the wellness program, and I don't think the bulk of the staff even knew there was a wellness program, and they can get up to about $240 on the year if they participate in it. So those little things we'll also promote through the transition and the presentations we give. So this is more for the commissioners. For your staff, we give them rates, but we also give them how to find a doctor, how to find your medications, take advantage of wellness, make sure you don't leave any dollars on the table, and you're really using the plan what's best for you and your families.
And as you know, our staff's not shy. So I think it went over quite well. I'm hoping we'll be able to pass these two resolutions tonight and move forward. This is a timely issue. It's time to move. I wouldn't want to see a long delay on this. The faster we do this, the more money we'll save.
Do we have any questions or concerns from the rest of the commissioners? If we don't, can we call the vote?
Dave Edwards, Anthony Forbes, Barbara Reyes.
Yes.
Jean Rodriguez.
Jeannie, can you hear us?
She's muted.
Yes.
Erica Seitzman?
Yes.
Matthew Testa?
Yes.
Carmen Vega?
Resolution number 2026-0805, a resolution of the Housing Authority of the City of Hoboken authorizing it to join the New Jersey Solutions Joint Health Insurance Fund.
Motion.
Second. Questions, concerns, that's all.
Yeah, it's everything we've talked about. This is the joining the new, yes.
Okay, fine. Does anyone have any questions or concerns? If there's no questions or concerns, Director, could you please call the vote?
David Edwards, Anthony Forbes, Barbara Reyes,
Yes.
Jean Rodriguez,
Yes.
Erica Seitzman,
Yes.
Matthew Testa,
Yes.
Carmen Vega.
Resolution number 2026-0806, a resolution of the Housing Authority of the City of Hoboken to extend the contract for fiscal audit services.
Motion. Second.
Questions, concerns?
Can we just, I don't want, get some clarity on?
Just to,
Everyone would just like some clarity.
yeah, the contract that we entered into last year with Novogradac and Company, if you remember, we went to Novogradac for the first time last year. That contract has an option for an extension for a year. So this is merely extending that contract for another year.
That's all. Thank you.
Any further questions or concerns? If there's none, Director, call the vote.
David Edwards, Anthony Forbes, Barbara Reyes.
Yes.
Jean Rodriguez,
Yes.
Erica Seitzman.
Yes.
Matthew Testa,
Yes.
Carmen Vega.
Resolution number 2026-0807, a resolution of the Housing Authority of the City of Hoboken to award a contract for the maintenance and servicing of boilers and associated mechanical equipment.
Motion. Motion. Second.
Questions, concerns? Director, if there's no questions or concerns, could you call the vote?
David Edwards, Anthony Forbes, Barbara Reyes,
Yes.
Jean Rodriguez,
Yes.
Erica Seitzman.
Yes.
Matthew Testa,
Yes.
Carmen Vega.
Resolution number 2026-0808, a resolution of the Housing Authority of the City of Hoboken to reject all bids for exterminating services.
Motion. Second.
Director, I have a question. Why are we rejecting them?
So first, our current company will be able to continue services for that. When the bids came in, we found these discrepancies. If you look between the bid amounts, we talked to the bidders, and there was some confusion on this special extermination we do for rodents. There's some confusion that when you read the bid documents, the scope of work, I agree, it was confusing. So they were actually looking at the bids differently. So I think the only solution here is to get this straight, reject the bids, fix that scope of work, and send it back out.
And when are we planning to send it back out?
And immediately, as soon as this is done, when can that hit the street, like real fast?
Yes, we've already revised the bid specifications, and we're intending to take the street tomorrow. One thing we are going to change is that we didn't have a pre-bid meeting, and so that'll be addressed next week, and so that should provide clarification to all prospective bidders.
And this is not going to interrupt what we have now?
No, they are going to continue.
They will continue.
The current provider will continue. We're hoping to get new bids in and back to the board by October.
If there's no further questions or concerns, Director, could you call the vote?
David Edwards, Anthony Forbes, Barbara Reyes,
Yes.
Jean Rodriguez,
Yes.
Erica Seitzman,
Yes.
Matthew Testa,
Yes.
Carmen Vega.
Resolution number 2026-0809, a resolution of the Housing Authority of the City of Hoboken to award a contract for trash chute maintenance services.
Motion. Second.
Questions, concerns? Director, is this for the trash chutes that are in like the big buildings?
That's correct, for the trash chutes and the trash compactors. So there's monthly service on the compactors, as well as twice a year, 3 times a year? How many times?
3 times a year.
3 times a year. Cleaning out, pressure cleaning all of the trash chutes, making sure that those trash chutes are working and functioning properly.
There's no further questions or concerns. Could you call the vote, Director?
David Edwards, Anthony Forbes, Barbara Reyes,
Yes.
Jean Rodriguez,
Yes.
Erica Seitzman,
Yes.
Matthew Testa, Carmen Vega.
Director, before we adjourn, I just have some questions concerning your report.
Sure.
So I know during your report, you actually spoke about the storm drains and cleaning them out.
Yes.
I have a question. Is that our responsibility or is that the city's? Because both streets, Jackson and Harrison's, are city streets?
Yeah, so what happens is from our parking lot, there's a storm drain in the middle of the parking lot, that goes out to the street, right? So, and that's the city's responsibility of the street. But when this deluge comes, it backs up in the street and backs up into us and up there. So when the rain stops, it comes back down. But in the meantime, our parking lot's been flooded and there's nasty things on that parking lot. The cleanup of that parking lot is our responsibility.
Okay.
Right?
So with that said, I understand that the parking lots are our responsibility, but is there any way that we can reach out to the city to then have the Jackson and Harrison Street drains cleaned out? Because to be honest, I see that after every storm, the city is posting up how their environmental people are cleaning every street in Hoboken, but Jackson and Harrison are not being washed down. And we have to smell that. We walk through that. We bring that into our homes. Again, this is just a prime example of how sometimes we are treated differently than the rest of the city.
We have had a number of conversations. Is Sammy hiding still?
No, I'm right here.
We have had some conversations this week with the city and the fire department. Sammy?
So I reached out to the...
Microphone, please.
Oh, I'm sorry. So I reached out to the city OEM to see if there was any type of way that we can connect to the fire hydrants. The response was no. Due to the fact that supposedly that was probably one of the causes of water main breaks, so they didn't want anyone tampering with the fire hydrants, I'm sorry. So technically we just clean them as much as we can with the water hoses and the pressure washers that we have in-house.
So was there some light at the end of the tunnel?
We reached out,
Yes,
Jackie reached out to the fire department to see if they can give us some type of assistance to add more pressure, or probably they can tap into the fire hydrant and just, because this is just basically one parking lot that's really being affected, which is the Jackson Street parking lot.
No, I understand the lots. I get that. That is our responsibility.
The catch basins, if you're
I'm
talking in regards to the catch basins are clean. So what happens is when the city stops the flow of the sewage, our sewage is run out and everything just backs up into our system.
Okay,
So
but-
once the system takes its natural flow, everything goes right along with it. The only thing that stays on top is what's not being pushed into the drain.
I understand you, but I don't think you're understanding my question. My question is, Jackson Street and Harrison Street are both city streets.
Correct.
Right. So the drains that are out there on the corners, every corner just like the rest of the city, right? When it rains, the amount of backup that comes up and the smell for days that comes up through there is disgusting. Our residents have to walk through there to go. I'm not complaining about the parking lots, because I walk through the parking lots.
So you're speaking in regards to the city street drains?
Yes.
Yeah, that doesn't fall under housing, but the city does have their contract company that comes in and vacuums out and takes care of it.
And when have they done it? Because the last few storms that happened, the Jackson Street.
That's a question you would ask the city, because they...
So, Mark,
And that's
I
a
am
question we will ask
asking
the
you.
city.
Okay, that's my question. I think we need to get with the city, and if we're reaching out to the environmental services and they're not working with us, then it's important that we reach out to our mayor and explain to her, because it's not fair that our children, everybody walks through that and smells that. And we have all these little we already have a rodent problem in the housing authority, let's be honest. And then you have these little flies that are coming out every time that happens. And we're walking through that. Our kids can't even play half the time when they're outside, because the stuff is all over the place. It's on the sidewalk, it's in the street. Right in front of 220 Harrison, when you walk out, when it rains, it doesn't even have to be a hard rain. It could just be rain. There are puddles that just stay there for weeks, 4 weeks, between 220, between 210 Harrison, 210 is that? Is that 210 and where the Azzolini lives? That
What about the path where they take the light rail?
No, I'm talking in front of the building. 220 Harrison, when you walk out, and the street where the garbage is. Okay, so between those two, if you ever look, no matter what type of rain, it could be a regular day rain. It rains, it sits there,
So
and it doesn't go in.
So the conversation was had with the city when we did the walk for the containers pilot, right? And we were looking for locations. So the attention was brought to them that the water does sit in those locations, that street needs to be repaved and at least, or add a catch basin to that area so like that the water can drain out. But that was noted to them, to the city.
Okay,
It's not the sidewalk.
It's not the sidewalk, it's the street.
Yeah, it's not the sidewalk. It's actually the street where the water just sits there for days.
There's
and it's
also
been
the
an
ADA
issue.
compliant parking lot, the ADA, the section you're talking about is the handicap parking right out in front of Azzolini's building, correct? There's there, and then there's one next to where we have about 6 containers, which is probably 2 cars down. It's in the street area that stays full of water. I know what you're talking about. And the attention was brought to the city in regards to that when we did the walkthrough.
So do you believe that if an extra storm drain or would do anything to those, or do you think the only solution is repaving over the street? I'll give you a third option. If those aren't done, is it a matter of cleaning out the existing drains in some way?
So in the locations where Barbara's stating, the only catch basins that we have in that location is to the far corner, which would be towards the Azzolini. In between the center of that block, there is no catch basins. So the street does dip off and sit in those 2 locations where you're speaking at. One of our requests to the city in regards to putting one of the trash containers instead of, because they're going to have to relocate until they get the street repaved or do the catch basin system, was to put the containers in that location. Because it's closest to where the drain is at, so there won't be a car or a vehicle in that area. But that's not, we're not an engineer, so, I mean, I'm not an engineer, so I don't know how the city would address it. I mean, again, we can revise it, speak to them about it, and see if we can. They did add, in the future, in the past, they did add one up towards 312. If you notice, there's an additional catch basin across the street from 312. Maybe they can do the same thing in front of 218, 210, and 230 Harrison.
One more question before I hush or go to whoever else. Now, if they came through and hosed that street down after that storm, it seems to me that you're still going to have the water in the puddles.
Yeah, the water still
hosing it down.
Yeah, and that location, you're right. It may sit there, but on Jackson Street, there isn't that problem. And
Right. On Jackson Street, a good hose down would help because then it would drain off. So those are the 2 issues that I need to bring. Thank you. Okay, I'm getting it. Yeah.
Commissioner Tester?
Quick question. The parking lot, when that fills up, is that coming back through the catch basin?
That's coming back from the city, comes into our property.
So possibly look into putting a backwater valve at the catch basin so that it could prevent that from coming back in?
You speak in regards to a check valve?
Backflow
preventer. So if that was the case, then yeah, I mean, it's possible. But still, in all, being that the point of our parking lot, it's actually lower than the street side itself, the water still rushes into our into our parking lot. So there's unless we go higher,
it's a grading issue.
It's a grading. It's just going to backflow into that spot.
Because as it floods in the street.
Exactly. It's just going to flood. It's going to go right back on the top.
Yeah, I get you.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know if it was
No, I get it.
isolated to the center.
I get it.
I mean, if the floor was elevated at least 2 or 3 inches higher than the city street, there's a possibility we can put the backflow preventer to stop the water from coming back in, and the only water that we will be receiving is whatever's coming down from the sky. But being the fact that we're at a low point, when the city backs up, that water just has that entry point to go into.
And then it's not just water.
It's everything.
It's everything else involved with it, correct.
Well, thank you, Barbara, for bringing that up, because I was really focused on the parking lots, so we'll bring
I'm
that.
sorry, I have some more questions.
Thank you.
So,
Go ahead.
I had a resident say that we're no longer giving parking spots for residents?
As available, we do. I don't know that that's
I had a
true.
resident from 311 Harrison state that, she said she spoke with Jimena and that she said that they're no longer giving parking spots.
I know we had stated that we were going to.
Sorry, who was that speaking?
Yeah.
Jimena Parra,
Para?
P-A-R-R-A.
Thank you. So I know it was mentioned that we were gonna stop giving out parking spots because of the redevelopment.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, so
A sign in Harrison Gardens.
So signing in Harrison Gardens, now I've made that connection. So as we go into redevelopment over the coming year, we have to relocate the parking from Harrison Gardens.
So what happens to the people who have been put on a waiting list and told that they're put on a waiting list and no one to date has told them that we're no longer giving parking?
That's an issue.
I don't think that that's what means that we're not gonna do. We're just not gonna assign in Harrison Garden. There's still a wait list and there's still spots wherever we're gonna make them. We're not assigning them to the lot right now.
So I think we need to make that clear.
I think we do. And I'd like to come back to you next month with a report on that, if not before, to look at. I mentioned earlier in the report on projects, on the project we're designing now, on where we're going to move the parking from Harrison. And my question to the staff engineer is going to be, how many are we moving? And is part of the problem that we're not going to be able to move as many as are in there now or not? But let me take a look at that with you and report back to you on that issue.
I didn't give the resident an answer because again, obviously when they brought it up to my attention, the first thing I thought about was the redevelopment.
Yeah.
But I also didn't see anything go out pertaining to it, so that's why I.
And another point, just to be clear, we were already going to a wait list. There were no available spots. As people were coming in and putting in on a wait list. But there already were.
This is not a new resident, though. This is a,
correct.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying, like,
I just
even
got
for
yours
a regular
working at the same
resident,
time.
if anybody wants to come in, regardless of Harrison Gardens, they're going to a wait list because we currently don't have any.
We know that.
All our spots were given.
But-
So if anybody comes, they just go on the wait list.
So the issue of if somebody does move out, pass away, and their car is now gone,
Yes.
are we reassigning that spot? And I think right now the answer is no.
We are reassigning spaces. We're just not assigning new spaces in Harrison Gardens parking lot, in the big lot. But if someone moves out, then we will assign the space to the next person on the list. So we haven't stopped assigning spaces. We just do not assign in the Harrison Gardens.
So then we need to make that clear. So we have okay, now this is gonna be the problem. We're not assigning to Harrison Gardens, but are we assigning to the other amps? Because how fair is that for someone who's been on a wait list? I'm sorry, I'm asking this because I get asked these questions and I don't wanna give misinformation, so.
And what new spots are there at Harrison Gardens? Like new spots?
So we have a few spots towards the back, which we use for employees at the moment, but we do allow anyone on the list to park there after the staff leaves at 4 o'clock, and then they have to be out before the staff arrives at 8 o'clock.
On the wait list?
Yes, we do ask them if they are willing to do that. Not everyone wants to do that. They don't want to wake up early.
Well, that's good to know because I mean that gives them an option because I think the biggest problem is the nighttime parking.
Right.
So, okay.
And we'll take a closer look.
Okay. And I just think that, like, you guys know it on the inside because you guys talk about it all the time, but the residents don't. And when they're calling, whether it's a manager or Jimena or so, and obviously Jimena say, well, we can't assign a new spot, they're taking it as, when they come to me, they're, oh no, they're not giving any more spots. That's what they told me. And I'm like, Oh, okay, I don't know. I said I have to look into it and I'll get back to you. So I just think like we just have to have it. I always say this, it's the better communication with the
And I
residents.
think I do mention that it's just for Harrison Gardens. We're still assigning on different ends.
Okay.
And we do offer any space anywhere else to whoever is next in line. We don't just offer
Okay.
it to whoever lives in that specific location. Whoever's next will get offered the next space, wherever it is.
On the front. Okay. Thank you.
Make that clear in my next report.
Yes.
Yeah.
The 560 hallway, the front is not done. I know that the back was done. When will the front part of that hallway be done? The cleaning, the painting, the...
So being that the back stairwells to the 7-story buildings are the high traffic areas, which had a lot of damage to it, the work is being conducted by the Housing Authority staff. It's not a contractor. We're doing all the back stairwells first, on the first phase, and in the second phase we'll do the front stairwells. The front stairwells will be much quicker because we'll be able to use the sprayer. Back stairwells, we couldn't do it because we had the tamper flow switches, so we didn't want to damage or waste more time covering the pipes or anything. We're at 655 right now. We should be done within probably the next week. Then we'll start again at 300, which 300 front stairwells is done. It's 310 and do all the front stairwells on the second phase and work their way up to 655.
Do you think in the next
couple of weeks we should start on the front stairwells? Yes.
Do you think that 560 stairwell, which was the question, do you think that will be done in the next 30 or 60 days?
No, because I mean it's realistically we're going back to 310 Marshall. Unless we do every other building and just jump to that building, then yeah, we can get it done within the next 30 days.
I want to be clear.
Yeah, so we started at 300, we worked all the way up to 655. Second phase, we'll start at 300, do the front stairwells. If that one's not completed, do the front stairwells and end up at 655 and all the 7-story
And I understand the complaint about the smell. I lived in a 10-floor building. I understand. It seeps through the walls, and we can't even blame maintenance. They can throw whatever they want on those stairwells. If anyone ever lived in those buildings, and Margie, you know, because you used to live there, you can throw whatever you want in those stairwells, and that smell is not going anywhere. It's not until it is power washed, painted, and done anything. So I understand the frustration, but the truth of the matter is those buildings are so old, it is seeped through. There's no way we can get it corrected until the floors are...
Well, our address to that is we're using some live enzymes. So before we start painting the floors, we actually wash the floor with live enzyme. We have to let the enzyme do its job, to take probably a day or something. Then we'll follow through with cleanup, and then we paint the floors. So it's a process, and again, it's housing staff, and we're only able to do it on overtime. The daytime, we're tackling our day-to-day routine. So, I mean, we're accomplishing it and going about it as we can. All right?
The next complaint I received was when you guys have staff meetings. Obviously, you guys know you guys are having staff meetings. Is there any way that nixles or notices can go out prior to those meetings? So, for instance, if you guys know that you're going to meet every Thursday at 10 a.m., there should be a flyer out saying, reminder, staff meeting 10 a.m. because we have residents who are going to the manager's office and just finding out that the manager's not there because they're at a staff meeting off-site.
Yeah, I think we've worked something on. Now, I have a weekly meeting with the director level staff, and in that case, you know, Andrew Jackson North, Andrew Jackson South, anyone with a manager or assistant should be covered. There's somebody there. So I don't think that's an issue. I think that is going to be an issue that should be possibly addressed for Monroe and Adams, because there's only going to be one person managing those. So I think that would be something that we could do internally here at these buildings, if that makes sense.
And the new trash compactors, for the rodents? When are they going out? Because I know they're sitting in the back of 400. When are they going?
So we addressed it earlier, September. We are upset. I mentioned earlier, I'm kind of upset at the contractor that's under the city's purview, but they came and delivered and left. And so they are now saying, in that report, that the first week of September, they'll be back. And they'll be completing the installation that first week of September, is what they have told us, right?
And that's for the entire property?
That's for the entire property.
That was it, those are the questions. That's all I had on my end. Nobody has any questions? Concerns? Okay, motion to adjourn, all in favor?
Right.
Thank you all
Thank you.
very much.
Thank you.